Namaste everybody, Irina here. Thank you for joining, and I invite you to take a cross-legged seated position. We're gonna start the yoga practice shortly. In this video, I'd like to go through the very gentle and slow Vinyasa Flow, which could be used in a hot summer days. So like the one we've got now today. I'm based in the UK and we've got a glorious weather, but you may be based wherever in the world. So sometimes where the climate is quite hot, it can be quite challenging to go through a dynamic vinyasa flow and generate excessive heat, especially if you also have certain conditions when you would like to avoid being overheated. So in this practice, we're going to be focusing on a slow, gentle movements. The pace would be quite slow. We'll be focusing on the breath and deep abdominal breathing. Sometimes what helps in the hot climate to breathe through the mouth and have your lips slightly departed and make a straw with your tongue so it's slightly sticking out, so the air coming in through the mouth is moist. So I'll demonstrate. It's something like this. So this is the technique that you can use, or you can go and use your regular ujjayi breath or just a deep abdominal breathing. So let's get started. Let's close the gaze. Let's bring the shoulders slightly back, so keeping your chest open. Relax through the facial muscles. Your palms are resting on the knees. They can be facing up, or the palms can be facing down. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the temperature. Feel maybe slightly breeze on your skin. Feeling the exposed part of the body, those sensations. Perhaps feeling the texture of your clothing, those parts of the body that are covered. Settle into your breath. Start deepening your inhalation and deepening your exhalation, making them prolonged and equal time-wise. And from here, you can gently open the gaze, or you can have the gaze closed, and we're going to go through the full-faced Brahman. So this is where we're going to start on the inhale, and we're going to turn the neck towards the left side, back into the center, into the left, sorry, into the right, back into the center. Let's look up, gaze down, and then bringing the chin towards the chest and look up. Your chin is down and back into the center. In the beginning, it could be quite difficult, especially when you have to direct your gaze. So that just takes a couple of rounds of practice. So inhale, left, center, exhale to the right, to the center. Inhale, chin up, gaze down. Exhale, chin down, gaze up. Back into the center. Inhale towards the left. Center, exhale towards the right. Back into the center. Chin up, gaze down. This is your inhalation. Chin down, gaze up. Back into the center. Few rounds on your own, and I will not be voicing up the direction. So let's go. Wherever you are, finish your last round and bring your head back into the center. And from here, let's bring the movements into the shoulders. If you still want to make the movements maybe with your neck, please go ahead. Just noticing the sensations in the upper body, noticing any stale energy, any knots, anything that is just trapped and sitting there, especially in the base of your neck and in the upper shoulders. Let's bring the right hand towards the left ear and gently press into the ear and bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then change to the other side. So you're gently pressing and you're trying to elongate and stretch that side of the neck. And back into the center, bringing the left forearm onto the floor, right arm goes up, trying to keep your sit bones on the floor or maybe just gently lifting, not too much. You want to that lateral stretch, that line to go onto the right side. And then into other side. Back into the center, twist towards the left. And twist towards the right. Into the all four, we're going to transition. Making sure your hands are under the shoulders. You've got a nice 90-degree line here. Your feet are about width hip apart. So inhale. Let's arch. Let's look up, stretch to the throat. Exhale, press the mat away. And draw the navel in. Look at the navel. Inhaling. Stretching the entire thoracic part, so your rib cage, your chest. Exhale, round, get into the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Couple of rounds in your own pace. And when you're ready to tuck the toes, lift the knees and pedal through the feet. Sure that your fingers are spread on the mat. Lifting your right leg. Let's open up the right hip out. Keeping your shoulders squared so you keep pressing the mat away. But rotation comes from the hip to the outside. Drop the foot to the floor. Lift the opposite, open up, look underneath the left underarm this time. And drop the foot to the floor, lift the right, look forward, step forward, drop the opposite knee to the floor. So here are your options. You can hold the solar plexus so you can connect to the core muscles and bring the arms stay centered. Or you can get a bit more into the hip flexor and sink with the hips forward. And then maybe a gentle arch in the back, looking up. If you've got any neck condition, whiplash, you had any injury previously, I would recommend just looking forward and avoid that extension of the neck. Connect to your breath. Lift the back knee off the floor, pivot, and drop the knee and sink. Notice where you are with your ankle. So you can either tuck and flex the ankle, or you can stretch and extend the ankle so your toes will be flat on the floor or on the mat. Sinking with the hips and then extending the arms. Again, either looking up or looking forward. So we are in a low lunge. And from here, tuck the back toes to the mat, lift, pivot, step forward, coming into the top of the mat, bringing yourself into Samasthiti. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Step back with your right foot, right knee to the floor. Press with your hands into the thigh, roll the shoulders back and sink into the hips. Plant your hands to the floor, step into Adho Mukha Svanasana, drop the knees. Inhale, arch through the back. Exhale, round through the back. Into the neutral, inhale, arch. Tucking the toes, exhale, into the down dog. Right leg up, look forward, step forward. Drop the knee to the floor. Press with the hands into the right thigh. Either look up or look forward. Place your hands to the floor, step forward. Round through the back. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold once again. And inhale all the way up into Samasthiti. Inhale, bring the arms up, Urdhva. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Left foot back, left knee to the floor. Press into your thigh with both of the hands, sink into the hips, roll the shoulders back. Plant your hands, step into Adho Mukha Svanasana, drop the knees. Inhale, arch through the cow, exhale through the cat. Inhale, cow. On your exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot up, step forward. Knee to the floor, sink into the hips. Plant your hands to the floor, step forward, round through the back. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, round, fold. And inhale gently. into the Urdhva back into the center. Okay, we're gonna step back with your left foot. You're gonna pivot and face the left side. So your left foot is forward. You can here stack up your heels and rotate your back foot slightly in. So we're preparing for warrior one. Okay, warrior one, if the heels are stacked up, that can be quite challenging to rotate your right hip forward without lifting the heel. So I would advise in this case to take a wider stance. So bring your feet on the train tracks, so to speak. Okay, we're gonna rotate the hips forward. At this point, if your foot lifts, okay, then maybe you can have your heel off the floor and have a modification here. Ideally, we want to press with the back foot, the side of the back foot, and then Virabhadrasana A. Your arms are up, you can look up. I've got a sun in my direction, so I'm gonna look forward. Because if I'm gonna close the gaze, I'm gonna be quite shaky here. Finding your drishti, finding your point of gaze, and keep pressing with the back of the outside edge of your foot. Okay, straighten your front knee, bring your arms behind you, inhale. Hug your elbows, and on the exhale, start hinging forward with your back straight. And when you're finding that you start rounding through the back, avoid rounding. The tendency is to round and go like this. I'd like you to hold on to your upper body. Keep that length in the spine. Maybe bringing that Ujjayi breath, 2 more breaths. And then coming out, pivoting. Okay, I've got very uneven ground. It is what it is, but hopefully you don't. Okay, either you can stack up your heels to the center of the line or take the feet wider. Square the hips. You may need just to adjust. So when you're bringing that 90-degree angle into the front knee, try not to overdo here. You're jeopardizing your kneecap. So 90-degree or less below that 90-degree. And again, you can look up. Connect to your core. So bring your bandhas into place. So your second bandha, your solar plexus. So connect there. Still keep the breath going. Squeeze your perineum. And then bring the arms behind you. Straighten that front knee. Inhale. And on the exhale, with length in the spine, we start bringing the chest forward. At some point, we're going to stop. Inhale halfway, or let's do all the way up. Step forward into Samastiti. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway, plant your hands, step into Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 breaths in the down dog. Making sure that you're pressing the mat away, perhaps shifting your feet either closer to the front or opposite. So we want the hamstring stretch. The hamstring stretch comes from moving your feet away from the body and then trying to bring the heels down to the floor. Pressing simultaneously the mat away, so we're sending the belly towards the thighs. Let's drop the knees. Let's press into Balasana, the child's pose. A few breaths here. From here, all four, and then bring yourself fully down onto the floor. Bring your elbows underneath the shoulders. With the forearms, you're pressing into the mat. Lift the chest off the floor, engage your legs, point your toes, and keep the energy in your lower body, especially the buttocks and legs, to not overwhelm the lumbar, so your lower part of the back. And then here you can stretch to the throat. And then bring your chest down, plant your hands under the shoulders, and transition into the seated. So you're pushing the floor away, coming into the seated position and bringing your soles of the feet together, away from the groin. So this is going to be Baddha Konasana B variation, which is bound angled pose, but B variation is more of a stretch of your hamstrings rather than the adductors, because the feet are slightly away. We're still working on the opening through the hips, and we're going to round through the back. So interlacing the fingers, place them on the top of your toes. Inhale. And on the exhale, round. Allow the head to drop. So fully introverted pose. So we are closing in, bringing awareness inwards. And then lifting the forehead off the floor, bringing the legs forward. Cross with your right leg over the left. And then you can stay here with your foot, your right foot, grounded into the mat. Or you can bend your extended leg and bring the left heel towards the right buttock. So we're preparing for Matsyendrasana pose, which means it's a spinal twist. We're going to twist towards the right side. So right arm goes up behind you. We want to open up the shoulder, press with your fingertips into the mat and bring the left elbow into the inside. And then press with your elbow into the thigh and look over the right shoulder. At this point, your gaze could be fully closed, or you can find your drishti further away and point your gaze towards a static, non-moving point. Coming out center, just counter twist, just to decompress, unravel your legs. Left over the right and right heel towards the left buttocks. Making sure that, okay, we're rooting with the sit bones. Bring the left arm up behind you, and the twist comes into the left side this time. So bringing the right elbow into the thigh, look over the left shoulder. coming out into the center, and as usual, counter twist. Okay, bringing your legs into the cross-legged seated position, Sukhasana, or the half lotus or the full lotus. We're going to bring the arms behind the back, hug your elbows, inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to fold forward. Round through the back, allow the gravity to take you to any point in space. Your sit bones may lift slightly off the floor. And don't set the expectations, just allow the body to stop at any point. Close your gaze. And gently coming out, bringing your hands resting onto the knees. Palms can be faced up. Your gaze is closed, and just take a few moments to observe, to reflect, to make a notice but not a judgment of the state of the mind, of the state of the body. And from here, very gently open up your gaze, bring the palms of the hands in front of your heart. And to conclude the practice, if you wish to do so, you can bow forward. Namaste.